Oh,
So Mike has no idea what he's doing. All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 39. Is it episode 39 or episode 40? I can't remember if I got that right, but we've got the ever wonderful
we're off to a great start.
Mike. Yeah, we're off to a phenomenal start today.
Thank you for welcoming me into this professional production.
This is a very professional
Thanks,
production, Mike. All right. For those of you who don't know, although you probably all do know, Mike Faraci is the founder and CEO of Red Button Media. Mike spent years in the mortgage trenches as an originator before realizing the industry had a massive blind spot. Nobody was helping loan officers and real estate pros actually show up on camera and build a real audience. So he started posting on LinkedIn every single day for 500 days straight, built a following from scratch without spending a dime on ads, and turned that experiment into a full-blown video content agency. Today, he helps mortgage and real estate brands cut through the noise with authentic, story-driven video. If you're in the business of building trust before someone walks in your door, Mike's basically the guy who wrote the playbook. All right, fired up to have you here today, Mike. How did Claude do?
Claude did okay. Claude missed my 15 years in capital markets, though.
That's right.
I am like the nerdiest of mortgage guys. Like,
I have a secondary market guy on the friggin'
I
show.
do not speak mortgage. I teach it, bro. So yeah, come on, Claude, get with it.
Anything. Hey,
but maybe. So here's the thing. That tells me that is a part of my messaging that needs to be dialed in a little bit more.
That's a good point. Yeah,
because Claude's only going to pull what's out there, and that means I'm not putting it out there enough. So thank you for the note. Point taken.
Thank you, Claude. I moved to the dark side a few weeks. Well, I guess it's the light.
No, you were going to say, wait, you moved to the bright side of history.
The bright side. I was on the dark side with.
Give it a couple of months.
Huh?
Give it a couple of months.
I'm liking Claude so
give
far.
It like 2 weeks.
No, I'm just saying. I'm sure it'll be the dark or the light side, and it'll change back and forth like 3 or 4 times this year.
I don't know, Dario. Dario's got quite a backbone. I don't know. Listen. Marketing is everything, and Claude has won the last month. They won the Super Bowl.
Their Super Bowl commercials were brilliant.
They were so good.
So good.
So jealous of. Whoever that marketing agency is, they just killed it. But then politics aside, the American people voted this weekend. It was something like I forget. It was some crazy down or removal of GPT. It was some crazy number I heard in terms of the percentage of people who removed GPT from their phones or deleted it. And Claude jumped into the #1 spot. So apparently people don't want to be mass surveilled. That was
also, it's and I think in the big picture, there's only a small percentage of people that still use these tools. If you look at the larger population, right? Like, I'm sure if you go to like middle America and you're like, do you know what ChatGPT is? They're like, what is that?
Or I saw something. People in Indiana. I saw something.
Utah is so progressive.
I saw something interesting yesterday that said that 83% of all people have never used AI.
Yeah,
that's the figure I was thinking of, but I was I'm not sure.
Great meme floating around. It was like, you do realize 7 billion people have never used AI.
I'm also seeing that 1.5 million people left or deleted their ChatGPT accounts.
1.5 million?
1.5 million.
My wife prefers Jimmy or Gemini, but we call it Jimmy.
I like that.
So it's interesting. My youngest son prefers Gemini, and he uses it. It's really interesting. He uses it as a tutor. He'll actually upload his notes from math class and then ask Gemini to create a pop quiz. And then he will take the quiz, and then Gemini will give him feedback on the quiz and walk him through anything he got wrong. It then walks him through like how to do it. Check
Dude,
it out.
that's so much better than what I grew up with. When I was young, I used to get beat up by my tutor.
Well, could you imagine Andrew trying to help his son with homework? Oh my god.
So it's funny. So my oldest son is a straight A student. He's got an A+ in Calc 1. And I said to Quinn, I was like, "Hey, Caleb will help you." And he looks at me and goes, "I'll use Gemini." And Caleb was in the car. He was like, "Oh my god." Okay, all right. Enough about that.
Let's talk about
Mike,
our guest here.
yeah, let's talk about Mike. So Mike, none of us, we always joke, nobody as a little kid wants to grow up and be in mortgage. So the first question is, what did Mike want to be when he grew up when you were a kid?
Oh man, athlete.
All right.
Athlete. It switched from baseball to golf to bowling. Actually, I was the best at bowling.
The best at bowling.
Okay. Yeah,
I can see golf.
So junior bowling in this country is age 22 and under.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was 19, 20 years old, I was one of the top 20 juniors in the country.
Really?
Whoa.
Yeah, I have old friends that were multiple time champions and rookies of the year on the professional bowlers tour, things like that. Like if there was 1/10 of the money in bowling as there is in golf, I would be a professional bowler.
Yeah, you can't, even if you're
There's
like
no money.
best of the best, you're making like maybe 150, I think, if I remember correctly.
And that's like for first place in the US Open once a year.
Right.
You might cash a 6-figure check once if you're one of the best. But if you're not one of the top 2 or 3 in the entire world, you're coming home to a full-time job.
Right.
Yeah.
So there you go. Bowling is not where it's at.
No. I think it's an optics thing. I think the bowling and billiards, pool, I think they suffer the same thing in that when it's done at the highest level, it looks elementarily simple. Oh yeah, throwing the ball, knocking down all the pins. Oh yeah, I made the shot. The next shot's straight in on the pool table. Like I can go to the corner bar and pop a couple coins in the table and go do that.
Right.
Same thing with bowling. You can go to the bowling alley, you can get a strike. Might take you a few tries, but you'll get there eventually.
Right.
But
Maybe
golf,
like
when you get a guy teeing up a golf ball and hitting it 350 yards down the middle of the fairway, that's kind of awe-inspiring. You know you can't do that.
Mm-hmm. I know I can't.
So there are those aspects, and I just don't think the entertainment value is there for the general population. So there's no ad revenue and there's no money in it for the athletes.
Fair.
Yeah.
Although I would argue that billiards feels more impressive than bowling.
Interesting. So spoken as somebody who hasn't really bowled, I imagine.
No, not really.
Yep, there you go.
Let's get spicy right away.
There you go.
Hey, all right. So, Mike, how did you end up in the mortgage industry?
Came out of car sales and just moved into being in 2003 a subprime LO. It was kind of I had some friends working at this company. They had a good training program, and they said, "Hey, man, get out of car sales and come over here because we're making more money." So I gave it a try.
That is so funny.
And that's how you get stuck in the mafia. You can't get out now.
I literally no. The thing that was funny was I was in car sales in 2003.
There you go.
For Jeep, Chrysler, Dodge. Yeah, Mace. You know that, new layer to the onion. Layer to the onion. So, and same thing.
Half of this podcast used to be in car sales.
And car sales was great coming out of college because I was a super shy person. And when you go into
interesting,
when you go into a frontline sales job like that, you don't survive if you're shy.
Nope.
It's just not an option for you. And any of my wit or humor or comfort on stage or socialization and networking skills, like I would not possess any of that if it wasn't for car sales.
No, completely understand it.
I have to ask a question to get spicy real quick.
Yeah.
Marvel or DC?
If I had to pick one, it would be Marvel.
Okay.
But I don't have a preference.
Okay. It's not that divisive for you.
No, it's not. They're two different things.
There's some good DC stuff out there.
Like, I gravitate towards Marvel more, but like when it comes to movies, nothing beats Batman.
Dark Knight Rises.
89 Batman, Tim Burton, Michael Keaton.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. You're going with that one.
That was the second ever movie I saw in a movie theater.
Wow.
Remember that night like it was yesterday. My dad took me, and we
we
went to Taco Bell afterwards.
What was the first of the really dark Batmans? What was
it? It was just called The Dark Knight.
Yeah. The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
I'll never forget. I went to go see The Dark Knight. I was so excited. And I walked in and like the movie theater was filled with like dads and like their little kids. And I was like, I don't know if you watched the trailer, and like sat down in like that opening scene, and like you just had a bunch of like little kids in tears, like terrified, like, walking out of the theater. And it was like, did you not watch the trailer? Like, I think they just all thought like, oh, it's Batman.
It's Batman. Comic book movie.
Comic book movie. Good to go. Okay, we got way off because we got into
we got
car
lots
sales
of tangents here.
Yeah.
But,
so how did you get the transition from the LO to the, what got you LO to marketing?
So it went loan officer, wholesale account executive, then secondary marketing, capital markets.
Okay.
And I spent about 15 years in capital markets. And my kind of marketing origin story starts with becoming a passionate photographer about 15 years ago and learning how to make a pretty picture just because I enjoyed it. And that was around the time that Canon prosumer level cameras started coming with a red button, a record button. I started integrating those things. So a couple of years after taking up photography, I thought, I know how to make a pretty picture. Does that mean I know how to make a pretty video also? And almost one-to-one. Yeah. Like you got to pay attention to some extra things, but it's almost a one-to-one translation, pretty picture to a pretty video. Okay, cool. I know how to make a video. I'm comfortable talking to people. I know what I'm doing. I work in capital markets. And I was trying to find ways to kind of satisfy, my creative wants and needs through what I do. And I was probably the only person on the planet who thought, new mortgage product rollouts should be more interesting. So instead of rolling out a new mortgage program with a 20-page stack of guidelines and a warm glass of milk to go to sleep over, I would roll them out instead with a 20-page stack of guidelines and a 5-minute video explaining why we onboarded this program, why we chose the aggregators that we did, what holes it fills in the current product menu, everything that it does, but what you should really focus on to be able to open doors with your referral clients and maybe resurrect some deals that you have in the pipeline. And next thing you know, new product adoption goes through the roof. Oh, okay. People like being educated this way. So I just kept doing that when I rolled out new programs as product manager, secondary marketing, like all that fun stuff. The guy who's like in the background programming Optimal Blue for IMBs. And then I still wanted to be more creative, but product rollouts weren't happening often enough. So that's when I started just saying, I'm going to keep making videos, but I'm going to put them out there publicly. And I'm just going to do stuff that I wish I had when I first got into the industry. What's an adjustable rate mortgage? How do those work? I hear the term hedging and margin calls. What does all that mean? What is mortgage banking? Everybody knows what a secondary marketing department is, but what's the actual secondary market? Like people weren't out there putting that information out. So I started to, and it got a good reception. And in 2021, founder of a mortgage fintech, Dan Green, if you guys know him or not, he was over at Homebuyer doing his thing with homebuyer.com.
Yeah, we had him on the podcast.
Oh, Dan's awesome. And he said, hey, Mike, would you come over and run our content and education at homebuyer.com? And that's when I jumped in full-time for the first time at the beginning of 2021 into a marketing role. And it was all content and all education, building first-time homebuyer curricula, building a YouTube channel, running a blog, engineered for SEO, like all the good stuff, all with an eye on lead generation and clicking through to a landing page. And within about a year, we went from, running a little bit of Facebook ad spend and bringing in, 12 to 15 leads a week, to cutting all of our ad spend and bringing in 20 to 25 first-time homebuyer leads a day.
Yeah.
Solely off of content. And that's when I realized that this was something.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I remember seeing those homebuyer videos, and they're super well documented. And like, for some, I remember coming across Dan on Twitter and going down the rabbit hole of some of his stuff, and I was like, wow, it's really, especially the blogs. I think the blogs were, it's a lot of content to write, and that was pre GPT, so you're writing them out.
Yeah, that's right. We were working with an agency over there too, just for the written stuff. Yeah, I was handling all the video, but I wasn't and still am not like a professional SEO focused copywriter who has a specialty in building backlinks and stuff like that. Like that's not my area. So we were working with help in those areas, and I learned a lot and was able to incorporate a lot of that into video content strategy also. Because at the end of the day, like whether it's written or it's verbal or it's video or you're in person or you're on a stage or at a coffee house, it's just a form of communication. The key is to hone the message that you're communicating so it resonates with the people you want to be reaching. And that's what I focus on with the agency. Saying, listen, you have the goods. You just got to get them out there the right way. Instead of trying to do content for everybody under the sun because you're trying to attract every borrower in the world or every recruit in the world or whatever it is, like worry about that in your one-on-one communications and in your email outreach and stuff like that. But when you're showing up as like the real authentic you digitally, our prospective audience is millions, if not billions of people. So we really got to narrow it down some as to who you want your content to be resonating with. And not like all these people, but like in a dream world. In a dream world, who's going to watch this piece of content and reach out to you? Your ideal client, your ideal recruit, your ideal referral source. This one real estate agent right over there, and I've never been able to get in the door. That one person. Well, when you flip on the camera, maybe you should just get in the headspace that you're just talking to that one person. There's going to be a bunch of other people that self-qualify themselves into your message. That's no problem. You're not going to be ostracizing people. But you can make sure that you resonate with the people that you want if you get yourself in the right headspace. And that's a lot of the strategy that we go through with our clients.
Dude, Mike, so I'm like hyped. Like I want to record a video again. Like, but Mike, can you tell us what you do now?
Yeah.
Share with the people what you do now.
Yeah. I mean, the Nickel Tour is custom content systems for mortgage and real estate executives, founders, and sales leaders. So we can get you showing up on all the digital platforms that you want to show up on every single day. And it costs you about 60 to 90 minutes of your time per month. That's it. It's video, it's written content. It could be all video. It could be all written. It could be a mixture of both. You can have it posted to LinkedIn or Instagram or Facebook or YouTube or TikTok or everywhere. Or we can just spend time in our sessions putting incredible content together for one-to-one outreach, email campaigns, text campaigns, blog articles, newsletters to kind of feed the beast when it comes to your mailing lists and things like that. It's up to the client, which is why they're custom content systems. But the typical kind of cadence is we get on a recording session once a month, just like this. Like you don't have to be here. We do it over the air. It's a virtual meeting type of thing. And I'm going to come with a list of content topics for you to talk about because we will have already gone through all your target viewers that you want to be reaching and all the messaging that you want to be getting out there, the problems that you solve for them, all the culture that you're building, all the great stuff that you're doing. all those arrows are already in the quiver. That's handled up front. And then by the time we get into our recording sessions, I just coach you through making your content. It's not a recorded conversation. It's not clips from a podcast. That's great for letting people be a fly on the wall for your conversations, but it doesn't let you talk directly to your audience. So we're going to come intentionally with a set of content that we want to make. And that's a collaborative thing. If you want to change some stuff out, you change some stuff out. If not, great. Either way, there's never going to be creative block. You're always going to have stuff to say, and you're never going to be alone to do it. I'm there with you to coach you through everything. Keep an eye on your hooks. Keep an eye on your time frames. Make sure you don't get stuck in prayer pose or with diamond hands. Make sure that you're making eye contact with the camera and you're not making content that has your audience saying, hey, my eyes are up here. Nobody wants that. You know, like these are the things that come with a coach who's done this thousands of times, right? You're getting the strategy, you're getting a production team, but you're also getting a director and a coach who spent 20 plus years in mortgage and knows your industry intimately, speaks your language, and you're not going to have to dumb it down.
And he's very nice whenever he tells you you're doing it wrong. So I can say that from experience that I've worked with Mike,
yeah,
and he definitely can coach even an idiot like me. So
that's saying something.
That sure is, man. Thank you, Andrew, for saying that.
Chris is never on LinkedIn anymore. Chris gave up on LinkedIn.
Oh yeah, I know.
He was like he was doing it there for a little bit. But then
Chris is linked out. That's okay.
You know what? You know you've made it, Mike. You know you've made it in life when all of a sudden you're like, fuck it. Like you just
right.
That's how we know Chris is doing well.
So good.
He's just no longer a slave to the machine. It is LinkedIn.
That's great.
Okay, let's hop into AI in marketing.
Yeah, man.
And I think where I'm gonna really start is like with the whole like authenticity paradox,
right?
As it exists today, right?
It's interesting. I'm looking forward to hearing how you frame this as a paradox.
Well, in the fact that number one, AI will help you create content, you know, faster than we've ever been able to, right? Yep. We now with things like Claude Co-work, you can tap into all of your prior writings. You know, we're quite frankly, we're starting to get to where the AI is getting better at being able to write in people's voices, to have that conversation, to have that dialogue. Like, how do you kind of reconcile those two things, or how do you look at it, right? Because like I see a lot of the people, like I feel like there's the extremes right now where it's like, oh my God, you used AI in any part of your content. Yeah. And you're the devil and a terrible person.
Right.
And then there's the people who do put out AI slop, who don't take the time to actually use it as a thoughtful tool.
Right. So a lot of what we're talking about here is written content.
Yeah.
So when it comes to written content, I think you're kind of silly if you're not using AI. You're intentionally putting yourself at a competitive disadvantage, because AI affords an amount of speed that was not that nobody was capable of without a team of people prior. Mm-hmm. So you need to be using AI. The differentiator is, do you use AI to tick the box and get content out and just check that off your task list? Or are you using AI to more effectively reach an audience you care about?
Right.
Because if the human element of caring is lost, your content will start falling flat. Because people can see through it. Mm-hmm. Maybe not initially, but after a while, people are going to end up seeing through it because it's input, output, go. But when it comes to content, again, regardless of the type of content, I feel like content is this buzzword that's been overused. It's like it's a platitude now. It doesn't mean anything. this form of communication, this form of communicating a message, if it doesn't come from a human place of caring or generosity or providing value of some sort, and it only comes from a place of, hey, AI, here's an input, give me an output to achieve X outcome, people are going to see through it and they're going to realize what type of outcome you're trying to provide. And that outcome is inherently selfish. It's never going to be for them. Most people are using these for marketing purposes. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They're creating content so they can get the word out, so they can spread the word, so they can spread their message. That's great. But if you want any form of communication to land with the audience that you're targeting, whether it's a text, an email, a phone call, a blog, a video posted on YouTube, whatever it is, you have to have some intimate knowledge of that audience that you want it to land with.
Yes.
And you have to care about them. Otherwise, why would they care about you in return? Mm-hmm. And a lot of what I'm seeing right now, and I don't know if we were recording or not when we talked about it, maybe we were, the 83% of people on the planet who've never used AI before, and I think it's 0.3% use a paid service of some sort.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, which is interesting because one of the things
right?
Going through.
So the practitioners, the AI practitioners, represent 0.3% of the population right now. 99.7% of the population either hasn't used it or has played around with it at most.
Well, and I would argue that probably 10% of that 0.3% is actually creating content,
right,
using those tools, right?
Right.
Now we're to what, 0.03%, and then on top of that, then you look at who is, I use this analogy often of like AI, just because Home Depot sells saws doesn't mean I'm a finished carpenter. Right. And
right.
AI, as I look at it, is a tool very much in the same regard.
Correct.
In that, I'm sorry, but Claude can produce great content.
Yes.
But it requires a lot of energy and thought in the prompting, in the specialized instructions, and how it's been set up and how it's been designed, and how much, to your point, do you know about that audience? How much care have you put into the instructions? Like, what are you doing after with the drafts? Like, again, how are you managing?
There's a lot of parallels with a mortgage file, right? Like, because we've heard it for decades. When a loan officer complains about underwriting turn times, or they complain about a lengthy condition list, what's the standard saying? Well, crap in, crap out.
Right.
Put a crappy file in, it's not put together, it's not prepped properly, then you're going to get a crappy condition list to deal with. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, AI is very, very similar to basically anything else that produces something when prompted. Crap in, crap out. And if you're prompting at a higher level, then your outputs will be at a higher level. The phrase prompt engineering didn't exist 3 years ago.
So,
but they don't call it prompt writing. They call it prompt engineering.
Right.
Because you need to elevate the way that you think about these things in order to produce greater outcomes.
Yes. Okay. So, no question. So, shifting from there, I want to talk about video.
Yeah.
And AI video. So, I've been playing around with it quite a bit. PK knows this because he's gotten some things. Did I send you my newest one? A short?
Yeah, you did. Yesterday.
So I've been messing with Higgsfield quite a bit. And my generations, even over the span of like 4 days, like I'm definitely getting like better and better and better with it.
Right.
And trying to understand it. I'm curious to get your take on the use of AI video, and with one thing as a note on it that I find really interesting is, like, internally at Ask Bob, I had circulated a couple of videos that were created using Higgsfield. And which I will say, Higgsfield's amazing, but it does take a while to get used to the nuances and how do you leverage Claude for the prompting, and you're capped at 2,000 characters, so there's some massaging that you have to learn to start to produce decent stuff. But what I found interesting was I sent the videos around Ask Bob to all the employees, and most people were very nitpicky, especially the engineers. They were like, oh, well, and then I showed it to my wife, who like barely used, I mean, she's a psychologist, right? And she loved them. And she was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Was like completely blown away. Versus like PK, who was like kind of shitting on him as well.
So what was the nature of the videos? What was the nature of the videos?
So they were more just like they were more like emotional pull-in, like explainer videos of like what is the pain that Ask Bob solves for, and how we solve for it, right? And it was more meant. They're more meant to be like quick little teaser videos that could be used on the corporate page, on the website, things of that nature, right? They're certainly not meant for, I'm not a big believer in like HeyGen and the whole like
the AI avatar.
AI avatars are not there. I've played with it enough. Like, it's
not only are they not there, they're a horrible idea.
They have no, it's so bizarre. I don't know. You can tell there's no soul.
It's not just that. Fast forward 5 years. HeyGen can produce you. Nobody can tell the difference.
Oh, right.
And it looks amazing, right? If you're using that to create video content and put it out there because you're too lazy to get on camera, or you're too scared,
I think it's scared. I don't think people are lazy.
or you're sick today,
I think people are
or
scared.
You don't like your hair, or it's just uncomfortable for you, or whatever human bullshit that you have running around in your head that's keeping you from doing the thing that you know that you're supposed to be doing anyway. If you're using AI avatars and you're feeding it AI generated scripts and it works, and you do meet with a prospective client or recruit, how's it going to look when you don't know what you were talking about in the video that caused them to reach out to you?
It's a good point. Yeah.
Like you're
I mean,
like everybody is so scared of AI replacing them, it seems. But then all of these people are asking for AI avatars so they don't have to get on camera.
I'm scared of AI.
Like you're literally helping the machine replace you. You're like you are delegating yourself out of the process and then expecting you to be necessary somehow.
Machine's not replacing it.
You know, I don't understand why anybody would legitimately want an AI avatar of themselves running around saying words that they wouldn't actually speak.
Well, I think there's a couple of mortgage companies. I don't want to name them, but I do get ads from them on like YouTube and things like that, where at first I used to be like, oh, this is a real person. But then after seeing the same ad, same exact format, same logo placed in the same exact spot, like disclaimer in the same, I'm like, I think this is all just generated with different characters, different people, different skin tones.
That's something I don't necessarily have a problem with. If you're generating a person that doesn't exist in real life as kind of a spokesperson, okay, that's fine.
And the message is very controlled.
It's like avatar of you being like, "Hey, I'm PK. This is what I do. You should reach out to me," but it's not really you. Like, as soon as that person finds out, how do you think that relationship's gonna go?
Yeah, that I'm with you.
You know, like there's a lot of there's a lot of betrayal feelings.
That's a good way to put it.
Because there's been studies. There's been studies about this. You know, like you're essentially catfishing your audience. And when they do reach out to you, they will find out. And I learned very early in booting up Red Button Media that, like, I mean, 6 months after I started the company, I had a discovery call with a client. And first 10 minutes of the call was banter about Marvel and Star Wars and dogs and stuff, just stuff that people see in my content. And then after that 10 minutes was over, they said, okay, we're good to go. Where do I sign? How do we get going? Like, we didn't talk about product. We didn't talk about services. We didn't talk about anything. They already knew all of that stuff. But it took me by surprise. And I didn't know why. So I was like, wait, what, you're just ready to go? And he said, oh, yeah, this call was just to make sure that you are the guy that I see on the videos. I just want to make sure that's really you and you're not putting on a show. Like, if you're not showing up as you, but you're representing that you are, and it's something else doing it on your behalf, like, you're in for a world of hurt once those conversations turn real.
Which Mike, you know, it's an interesting thing that I would tap on top of that. That's like another step in that process is getting out into the actual real world.
Oh yeah,
like it was really 100%. Interesting to me after, I think it was after NBA annual last year. I was amazed at the number of people, because I'm like you. I came from secondary. I'm new to kind of front end, which is where our product is more than anywhere else.
Right.
So there's a lot of new people who I've met online, and at the conferences, they were like, oh, to your point, they're like, oh, you're actually how you are online.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, like,
right.
It is.
I showed up at a conference last year and people were like, so you really do dress like a 5-year-old boy? It's like, yeah, man, that's my jam. That's what we do.
You and Mace can compete on that one.
Yeah, you really look like a tech founder more than a media guy, but you know.
That's funny.
So Mike, what's your take on what the whole with this? I think the angle we've been talking about all of this is with the perspective of the founders or a leader individual representing on behalf of the company. Like, you know, even the example you shared there where someone hopped on a call with you. They're like, I just want to know if Mike is legit. He's the same person, you know, on the video. How do you differentiate that between, like, I guess the former, model was that you wouldn't be the face of the company. It would be Red Button Media is the company, right? And like, there's this shift that's happened in the last couple of years, which is like the individual is like the representative of the company and the face of the brand, not the actual company itself.
I don't think that's a recent shift.
Tell more.
Steve Jobs.
What's the first thing that comes to mind when I say Microsoft or Apple?
Gates, Jobs.
Or Amazon. Or Tesla.
The
biggest brands in the world are founder-led. Period. End. It always has been that way. It just, the change that's happened in the last few years is that all founders and executives now have a zero-cost distribution platform for their content. You don't need, it's not pay to play anymore. You don't need to buy commercials. You don't need to show up on billboards. You don't need to buy pre-roll in movie theaters. You don't need all that stuff because we have the social media platforms. And a lot of people think, oh, social media is Gary Vaynerchuk makes a really good point where he says that has officially shifted to interest media, not social media. People are finding more things that they're interested with on these platforms and consuming it than they are actively being social on these platforms. There's really good points there. But whether it's Instagram or Facebook or Twitter/X or TikTok or YouTube or LinkedIn or Snapchat or Pinterest or name the place, right? Regardless if you love one of those places and you call it your digital home, or it gives you the heebie-jeebies and you never wanted to be there, all of them are just free distribution methods for your message. And the important thing to realize is, regardless of how much you want to be there, there is a number of audience members of yours that you want to connect with that already are there. And if they hear about you, if they get referred to you, if they catch wind of you, and they want to find out more about you, they're not going to go search for you where you want them to search. They are going to go search for you where they are comfortable. And next to Google, YouTube is the #2 most used search engine on the planet. TikTok is #3.
Yeah, I was going to say TikTok is pretty big.
You know what I mean? Like, when it comes to search, if you don't show up, you don't get at-bats, period. Like, you got to dress out and be in the dugout in order to get in the game and get to the plate. So if you have content running to LinkedIn, then you're already making the content. Maybe you should also just be putting it on Facebook and Instagram. If you already have short form videos running to Instagram and Facebook, maybe you should also be uploading them to a YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
Because you never know when the next dream client, dream referral partner, dream recruit hears your name, and you don't know where they're going to be searching for you to learn more.
Like watering holes.
I use the salad dressing analogy a lot. Like, if you're making salad with dinner tonight and you realize you're out of dressing, you run to the grocery store, right? And you walk to the salad dressing aisle where there's the wall of salad dressings, and you look for something that's going to work. Do you look at all of those options for the salad that you're going to eat a few hours from now and then think to yourself, you know, these are a lot of great options, but I bet I could go home and do some digging and find some artisanal, homemade, garage kitchen sort of, you know, kind of salad dressing. And if I work hard enough, they're going to be able to ship it to my door in the next couple of hours so I can have it for dinner tonight. So I'm just going to go do that. Or are you going to pick a freaking salad dressing that's right in front of your face? Is it going to be the best one?
Oh, yeah.
Probably not. Is it going to be perfect? No. Is it going to be amazing? Maybe. Who knows?
Good enough.
But it's going to be there.
It's good
You
enough.
know, like, publishing content on these platforms is a way to get on the shelf and have a chance to be chosen. If you're not doing that, you just don't exist. And a lot of people have a hard time hearing that, but it's true. If you don't show up, you do not exist. That's why Chris Mace doesn't exist on LinkedIn anymore, because he doesn't show up anymore. You know what I mean? Like, it just
Because he's made it. Chris has made
it. That's right. That's right. When you made it, when you got it like that, when you got it like that, do you really need to show up?
When you're Chris,
come on.
You don't have to be on LinkedIn.
No,
LinkedIn,
right.
Conferences. You don't need to do any of it.
Humbled and blessed, right, Chris? Humbled.
Chris, are you going to ICE?
So PK, what do you think about what?
I was like, where's this going?
Like, I'm just in a delay over here, apparently. Wait, okay, so we've got 15 minutes. Can we talk a little bit about let's talk about, you know, use of AI when it comes to content in a meaningful way. You know, there's certainly founders out there who, you know, who need to leverage these tools, right? I think it's easier than it's ever been to be a founder, particularly in the tech space. But I think you got to be really savvy,
right,
from a marketing perspective, because I think, you know, we're now seeing where, as a very small, lean company, you can look like a larger, much more professional organization from a marketing standpoint if you're leveraging the tools in the appropriate way. So can we talk a little bit just about like what tools does Mike use and love, and like what are some just some simple things that, you know, maybe a CEO of a smaller mortgage shop or a founder of a brand new tech startup could kind of take away as a thing, where a place to
start. First tip is just general content strategy tip. This is not AI specific, but because utilizing all the new kind of supercharged tools that we have can make you seem like you are anywhere and everywhere all at once, don't forget to let people know it's okay to reach out to you. So many people make that mistake. When you start showing up everywhere, you seem really busy. And your time has a perceived value in the minds of people who see you as really popular and busy and killing it and doing great. They're everywhere. They must be doing awesome. You will reach a minor celebrity status in that person's head, whether you want to acknowledge it or not. This is a human thing. It happens. It's been confirmed for me on multiple occasions. I had a DM once saying, "Are you onboarding new clients? I know you're busy. I don't want to bother you." I was like, I'm trying to grow this thing, man. Of course I'm onboarding new clients. That was my fault. I wasn't letting people know that, hey, yeah, we're open for business, man. Like, I'm here for you. Please reach out. So like just calls to action don't have to be a hard go to this place, click this link, DM this word, I'll send you this lead magnet, do this thing so we can do this. That's not always what a call to action is. Sometimes a nice little soft call to action like hey, I'm a human, you're a human. Feel free to reach out to me. I really am here for you. That can go a long way. Now, in order to create that minor celebrity status, you're going to up your content production. For me, when it comes to written content, I'm still a ChatGPT guy. I have not moved to Claude. I have not played with all the stuff that you can play with. And there's a reason why. It's still changing so fast. AI is not my business. AI is a tool for my business. And if I'm able to get high quality outputs from a thing that I'm using, then I'm going to keep using that thing until something else isn't just speculated as better. It's been proven time and time again to be better. Because moving from one tool to another tool is a lift that I do not want to undertake. It's time that I do not want to spend unless I know that it's factually, objectively better for the business. And right now, Claude's the rage, but GPT 5.4 could come out a month from now and change everything. We don't know. Things are changing so rapidly. It's crazy.
That is true. I will argue, though, that my switch to Claude was largely because of capabilities beyond the engine of itself.
Right.
And its layout. But that's just for me.
And we have different needs.
But you nailed a perfect point, right? Which is for your business.
Right. We have much different needs. And the one thing that I can tell everybody who's using AI in any way, shape, or form is that the concept that I was able to really internalize and put into practice that provides kind of the magic that people are looking for is training and prompting your large language model of choice on offline information. If you just let it pull from the ether and everything that exists on the web, then your outputs are going to look like anybody else's. But if you kick GPT or Claude, if you kick it into voice mode and you start talking to it, giving it some of your beliefs and some of your practices and some of the decisions that you've made and some of the why behind the what you have built, then it's going to be able to produce a much more effective output for you because now it has information that nobody else has access to.
Yes.
And if you're giving it that offline information that nobody else has access to, then your outputs will be unique. And then it's incumbent upon you to not be the copywriter because AI has handled the copywriting aspect for you, but now you need to elevate yourself into kind of chief editor mentality and then give it a once over, like give it a read and make sure that it's actually saying what you want it to say. a lot of the times it's going to try to fill a character limit or a character requirement for a specific thing. And it's going to toss 3 or 4 sentences in there that just aren't necessary to make your point. Take them out. Value your audience's time. Care about those human beings on the receiving end.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, edit your stuff a little bit. It doesn't take much. Just a scan and a cursory edit before putting it out. It doesn't take much. But if you're just blank copying and pasting the output and then shoving it out to everybody, odds are it's not going to be you as much as it could be, given an extra 90 seconds.
100%. I would one little hack on the first piece that I would recommend for people is actually create, like, asking your model of choice to create a prompt to have the model interview you.
Yeah.
And it will actually create a better prompt than more than likely you're going to prompt, to then feed back into the model, to ask the model to interview you. And because I think for a lot of people, they're like, oh God, what do I tell the model? I don't know what I'm supposed to tell the model.
I do that all the time. That's part of my standard operating procedure when onboarding a new client. I'll create a custom GPT that's a copywriter for them in order to give us a baseline foundation to work from for their copy. And I will, in one chat, I will do all of the strategy. Here's the person. Here's what they do. Here's all the stuff. Here's the transcript of our entire conversation. Here's the 25 question set about mortgage recruiting that I asked them. Here's the answers that I wrote down in my hand keyed notes. So you get an idea of, what stood out to me.
Right.
And then here's the full transcript so we don't miss anything. Study all of this, all of that stuff. And then I'm going to have it help me organize all of those thoughts into a core positioning guide. I'm going to have it help me organize all of those thoughts into a brand voice synopsis. I'm going to have it organize all that stuff into target viewer personas and into content pillars, into all of that stuff. And then I'm going to say, now I need to create a custom GPT that's a copywriter for this person on the go forward. Here are the projects that I'm going to be assigning. Please write me a master prompt that I can feed into the GPT to create it. Because ChatGPT is going to know how to prompt ChatGPT better than me. So I may as well just have it do that, since I've already now fed it all of the offline information. And like the depth and the complexity in which you set foundations and build and create with these, like, that's what gives you genuinely good outputs. It's not because one model's better than the other all the time, even though one could be better than the other.
Sure.
Anybody can make the point right now that Claude is a better copywriter than ChatGPT. But if you prompt Claude poorly and prompt ChatGPT well, the GPT outputs are going to be better.
100%.
10 times out of 10.
Yeah. Just it again, it's a tool, and it comes down to the person who's actually using the tool and how much energy you put in to learning the tools and understanding, how to use the tools. Again, one of the things, it's a little thing that I know in the beginning I didn't do that was such a huge game changer, was prompting for prompts. Right. Like, I don't think a lot of people realize, like, how powerful it is to sit down and be like, okay, this is what the outcome is that I'm looking for. I don't really know how to ask you to get that. Can you tell me how to ask you? And like you said,
and the first time you do it, seeing the prompt that it writes is mind-blowing.
Right.
Like, oh my God, I never would have thought.
I never would have thought.
Holy crap. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I was saying earlier, like I had Claude prompting Higgsfield, and I would get these prompts out of Claude, and I was like, oh my God. I'm like, I never in a million years would I thought of, 75% of the things that it was telling me to, to tell the model.
Right.
Okay. Okay? It's not written down, PK and Chris, so I don't know what Amanda Pad's question is. Did you ask Amanda Pad to ask a question?
We did.
Do you remember what it is, Boomer?
What got you into digital content creation, into social media content, which I think we covered.
Yeah.
So we already got that one.
Thank you, Amanda.
All right, well, there you go, Amanda. Your question was answered at the very beginning of the show.
That was awesome.
I like how if I don't give the email to Mike, the warning email, I like that you call it the morning email. Here's what's coming. I get blamed and called the boomer here by the boomer.
You're the only one who's ever done it before, and so I just expect it. You just started doing it one day, and because normally, Mike, you get an email beforehand. So
I wouldn't know.
This time you know,
I was like, it's Mike Faraci.
I wouldn't know.
He knows he can handle himself.
I had no idea what the conversation was going to be about. This was much more intentional than I anticipated. I thought we were just going to come on and bullshit for a while and have some fun, but Andrew made it all friggin' businessy and
I thought it was good. This is one of my favorite episodes to date. I thought it was very knowledgeable. I think it's important. Like I was at the Northeast Mortgage Summit last week, and there was maybe 100 people in the room, and I thought it was really interesting. I asked everybody in the room who uses AI for personal use, and almost 100% of the people in the room raised their hand. But when I asked them I asked one question like, how many of you have a knowledge agent in your organization? And only 2 people out of 100 raised their hands. And that's like the most, safest
right
kind of, starting point from an AI perspective for an organization. So I think there's like we were saying earlier, there's a lot of people who don't use AI at the level that we do, who don't understand where to necessarily start.
And we need to be careful with our own mindsets on that stuff, because like as power users, we fall into an echo chamber.
Yes, exactly.
And it's very easy. And it's not just as AI power users. Like as AI power users, we fall into an echo chamber. As mortgage professionals, echo chamber. As I don't know, bourbon lovers, echo chamber. As craft beer drinkers, that's another echo chamber. As golfers, bowlers, pool players, we talked about all the athlete stuff earlier. Like anything that we did, PK knows, as watch people, like we fall into an echo chamber that is going to reverberate our own interests to us. So don't discount the rest of the people.
Yes.
Don't discount the layman. And that's one of the first things that I go over with mortgage professionals who are looking to commit to a content strategy. Stop discounting the foundational knowledge that you know so well you've forgotten that you learned it. Stop discounting the value of the fact that you don't need 20% down to buy a house, because to the layman who doesn't expert in this all day, every day, who is not in our echo chamber, Uncle Ned just told them 20% down or nothing as they were trying to jerry-rig their taxes together. Like, Uncle Ned don't know shit. You got to talk to a professional. And unfortunately, like I think it was 2022, NAR did a study that showed that 70% of all people, homeowners included, still thought you needed at least 10% down to buy a house. 70% of the country. And this was like 3-4 years ago. So like,
that's not surprising.
But that level of, we'll call it lack of education around something that we take for granted, because echo chamber, it's common and typical in every single echo chamber that you could possibly fall into, and every single interest that you take in a thing, hobby, profession, whatever it is. And if your target clients, target referral sources, target recruits, if they do not exist within your echo chamber, then you got to stop talking to the people that know everything that you know. And you got to start talking to the people who need your foundational knowledge. And that is like the most valuable thing that you can do from a content perspective is go back to the foundational knowledge, start there, because that is the stuff that can be life-changing to someone who's not an expert like you.
That's the way to end it.
That's that is
Mic drop.
That is
Yeah.
mic drop there, Mike. And if you don't use AI at all, please give me a call. DM me.
Ask Bob. Ask Bob about that stuff.
Ask Bob.
Yeah, that's right.
Mike, dude, thank you so much. This has been a great hour. It flew by.
Thank you guys.
Quite frankly,
is that it? Do we have something fun to end on? You want to go around the? Let's go, Mace.
Oh, do we have a question for the?
I need a dad joke.
Oh wait, yeah, you got to ask a question of the guest for next week.
Oh, me? Who's the guest?
Becky Yale from Highlands Mortgage. What's Becky's title? It's like SVP of Technology, something like that. I don't know Becky's actual direct title. I don't know if Mace happens to know it off the top of his head.
She said that I love it's all coming to me. She is in
PK never gets picked on.
He's too handsome to pick on, man.
He had a bad childhood, so we just try to. I'm kidding. You had like the best childhood of any of us.
No,
yeah, 100%.
It's all relative.
Chris, no, it's not. Chris has got you beat, bro.
Am I gonna have to look up Becky Yale myself?
It's Becky Hale, by the way.
Oh, Hale.
Yeah, so she is the SVP of Information Systems. So she's
there you go. I was close. I said SVP of Technology.
SVP of Information Systems.
That was pretty.
Yeah, she's leading all their tech initiatives.
Yeah.
Okay. I would like to ask Becky how she would advise is for a mortgage bank, I assume, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
How would Becky advise a young mortgage bank on the proper procedures to ensure maximum adoption for a new technology implementation?
I like
Are you
it.
writing that down, Chris?
I'll yes, I got it, Boomer.
I think Mace knows that one because
everything's Mace.
Because Mace is Mace is an ICE / Encompass fluent tech guy, and adoption is an issue. So
it is. Yeah. What are the 2 sexiest animals on the farm?
Oh, that's a good one.
Brown chicken, brown cow. And there's your bad joke.
I like it. I like it. My 4-year-old son has learned his first joke and he tells it nonstop now. It's, what do you call a pirate droid?
What?
R2D2.
So good.
Wow. Okay, can we close?
Can't wait to be a father one day.
You want to ice?
Negative.
I started to ask Chris that earlier, but Chris is like,
I don't know.
He's holding his breath.
He's being weird about it. I don't know why he's being weird about it.
I don't know.
You just don't know. Okay. Nobody is. All right.
Hey, thanks, Mike. Good having you.
Hey, thank you guys.
All right.
Appreciate
thanks, everybody.
And
we'll see everybody here for episode 40 next week with Becky Hale.
Beautiful.
Thanks, guys.
Take care, Jason.